Hello there friends, welcome back to another episode of Generation Tank. My name is Alan, and we've done a lot of videos on this channel criticizing Bo-Katan, but the truth is, I don't hate her. I actually like her quite a lot as a character. I see her as a victim of some terrible circumstances and as an individual who's tried her hardest to correct her previous mistakes. Her story and relationship with the Mandalorian people is a very messy and complex one that doesn't necessarily paint her as a villain, but also doesn't necessarily make her a hero. It's actually a refreshing change of pace. Well, actually, some might just call it a poorly planned character, and there's some merit to that, but hopefully Dave Filoni does justice to her character. He's the one who created her, and now as Bo-Katan is reaching another major milestone, hopefully in her career, I think we're going to see something really interesting happen. We find Bo-Katan at the beginning of Season 3 of The Mandalorian, lounging like a queen in the Kyr's castle on Kavala. Ever since she turned down that darksaber from Din Djarin, her army has left her and she seems dejected and demoralized. She is down for the count. She needs to listen to Miley Cyrus's breakup song, Flowers. Anyway, this woman has clearly lost passion for the thing that she, was destined to do, which was to unite the Mandalorian people, and it's kind of sad to see that. But of course, Din Djarin has to make sure that she has given up.
What of your plans to retake Mandalore? Where is the stolen fleet? So you gave up your designs to retake Mandalore?
Damn it, Din, show some tact, you weirdo. The Bo-Katan we see here in this castle is quite different from the individual we first saw in the Clone Wars series, as one of Pre Vizsla's lieutenants. Back then she was young, fiery, and completely clueless about the world around her and the actions she was about to take. She had joined essentially a terrorist organization that would cause great suffering to her people. I still believe that Bo-Katan as Duchess Satine Kryze's younger sister felt overshadowed, and this was kind of her teenage rebellion, a way for her to stand out. And when she joined Death Watch, she found kinsmanship and ideology for the first time in her life, which is always dangerous as a teenager. And when she figured out it wasn't for her, it was kind of a little too late. By then, she had committed many atrocities. Can we really blame her for being a teenager? I don't know. I mean, some teenagers, they dye their hair purple. Other teenagers, they become ISIS brides. There's a wide variety of things you can do as a teenager. It's a very dangerous time in a human being's life. Bo-Katan would experience many rises and falls after that, and she would be appointed sovereign of Mandalore for a short period of time before losing it. And then when the Great Purge was carried out, it was on her watch as well. But surprisingly, when we first see Bo-Katan in The Mandalorian, she's actually a lot more upbeat than I remembered. Shortly after saving Mandad and Baby Go-Gurt from a bunch of evil squid heads, Bo-Katan explains to Din Djarin what she was up to.
They're staging weapons that have been bought and sold with the plunders of our planet.
We're seizing those weapons and using them to retake our homeworld. Once we've done that, we'll seat any Mandalore on the throne.
You can really tell when Bo-Katan is being serious. She has this facial cue, which is kind of adorable. It's all about the nostril area. Congo, can you get me the John Madden teleprompter thingy? Yeah, you see, whenever she begins to flare the nostrils right there, you better clear that area, son, because massive amounts of passion are being dispensed from those orifices. It's surprising that Bo-Katan was like this in the first season of Mandalore. I mean, she's failed so much, yet she still has this unbelievable drive to do something about the poor state of her people. Uniting Mandalore has become her life's sole purpose. But notice what she says here.
We'll seat any Mandalore on the throne.
She doesn't say, I will find a new seat for the Mandalore, or I will claim the throne myself. She says, we will. There are undertones of democracy there. And as we've stated many times before, her refusal of the darksaber at the end of Season 2 when Din Djarin tries to give her the saber tells us that she's learned her lesson. The blade must be earned, it cannot be given. And furthermore, because Din Djarin is now sort of a friend of hers, Bo-Katan was not willing to fight him for that blade. And so I fully believe, despite all of Bo-Katan's flaws, that she is not a very power-hungry individual. Perhaps she never was. She went from a Death Watch loyalist to watching her mentor and Captain Pre Vizsla getting killed by an outsider. She then tries to stop that killer Maul from further destroying her people, and she's motivated by revenge at first, and also a sense that she needs to make up for the many mistakes she's made in her life. People seek power for many different reasons. Some individuals seek power because their ego desires that power. They believe that they are a gift to the world. And then there are other people who want power because they genuinely want to serve the people and they want to make their country or town better. A lot of people in the first category believe that they're in the second category when they're actually in the first category. But Bo-Katan, I believe she is in the second category. She wants to serve her people. And that's because Bo-Katan, by all signs, is a pretty decent human being. And, you know, the mistakes she made when she was a passionate young woman, those really weigh down on her. And I think she really is trying hard to reject Death Watch at every point, which is kind of ironic because of what happens later on. I also think Bo-Katan is beginning to warm up a bit to Din Djarin, which also means it's probably going to change her opinion about the Children of the Watch. Now, technically speaking, the Children of the Watch are a subgroup of the Death Watch, and, you know, Bo-Katan on her grumpiest days, she'll blame everything on them.
The Children of the Watch and all the factions that came before fractured and shattered our people.
This has always been the standard view Bo-Katan holds on the Death Watch and the Children of the Watch, and that is because of her experiences when she was a younger Mandalorian. But there's another side to this as well. Let's not forget that Bo-Katan was also a member of the Death Watch. Her hatred is personal and rooted in her past mistakes and wasted time. But I think she also understands the mindset of individuals like Din Djarin as a result. She might even see a bit of herself in Din, who clearly isn't the strictest adherent to the way. He's far more independent-minded than even he realizes. And I think from the very beginning, this is why Bo-Katan sees something special in Din Djarin, and this is why she kind of maintains this relationship with him.
You do not cover your face. You are not Mandalorian. He's one of them.
Dink Ferrick.
One of what?
I am Bo-Katan of Clan Kryze. I was born on Mandalore and fought in the Purge. And you are a child of the Watch.
In that first meeting, you can tell Bo-Katan almost feels bad for him, whereas her compatriots are filled with disgust and disappointment. But her opinion of the Watch remains unchanged.
Children of the Watch are a cult of religious zealots that broke away from Mandalorian Society. Their goal was to reestablish the ancient way.
But then in the third season, a few big things happen. First, Mando Bro ends up going to Mandalore himself to bathe in the living waters for redemption. When he gets ambushed, Baby Gogurt returns alone to Bo-Katan Kryze's castle, and she appears a bit annoyed when she sees Mando's starship.
Maybe I didn't make myself clear the last time. I want to be left alone.
But when she realizes that only Baby Gogurt is in Mando's starship, she immediately springs into action and carries out a rescue mission. I mean, that is a really solid thing to do for someone that you don't like. Which means I think Bo-Katan actually does like Din Djarin a lot. And it's not just, you know, romantic love between two helmeted warriors. I think she legitimately sees Din Djarin as the key to uniting Mandalore once again. Remember, that is her ultimate goal, to reunite her people, to erase her sins, but not necessarily become Mandalore herself. I think she's had enough of that. When Bo-Katan returns to Mandalore, I'm guessing for the first time since the Purge, she looks over the broken city of Sundari in a bittersweet scene.
This was once a beautiful civilization. My family ruled it all. Now it's a tomb.
The floating avenues used to be lined with Mandalore's citizens when foreign dignitaries visited the planet back when Bo-Katan's sister had been in power. And I think a part of Bo-Katan yearns for that past time when things were simpler, when her sister was still alive. And when Bo-Katan watches Din Djarin walk into the living waters, dare I say, she almost looks a bit wistful. Clearly, this stroll down memory lane is beginning to affect her. It's almost as if she remembers a time when she was younger and more carefree and still believed in such myths and legends. But then Din Djarin slips and falls, and the scar doesn't really float well, and so Bo-Katan has to rush in and save Din again. Well, beneath the waters, it's revealed that a larger crack has opened in the pool's floor, making it much deeper than it was before. And before Bo-Katan reaches the surface, she witnesses the unmistakable sight of a mythosaur sleeping in the depths. This is the legendary creature whose skull is borne on the Mandalorian sigil. Legends say the first Mandalore was actually able to defeat and tame one of these great beasts, and so it is another symbol of Mandalorian leadership, just like the Darksaber. But when Bo-Katan emerges out of the water, she never tells Din Djarin about what she saw. Some people have said that maybe Bo-Katan was really shocked about the situation and just didn't have time to tell Din Djarin. Others have said that maybe she wasn't really sure about what she saw and she just wanted to confirm it with Din.
Did you see anything alive?
Alive? Like what?
Nothing. Let's get out of here.
To me, it sounds like she's just hiding information from Din Djarin. Why she's doing this, I'm not 100% sure. Now, something further complicates the situation. When Din and Mando return back to Kavala, the Kira's castle is destroyed by the Empire, and the two Mandalorians are forced to flee to a secret location where the Children of the Watch have relocated to. And since Bo-Katan had dived into the living waters below Sundari and then had kept her helmet on up until this point, she was actually eligible for recruitment into the Children of the Watch.
We accept a one of us. We accept a one of us. Gooba gobble, gooba gobble.
It kind of sucks that Bo is wearing this helmet because I would have loved to see the look on her face that now she's finally come full circle and rejoined this very organization she swore she would never belong to again. No, actually, it's not just that organization, but a supercharged version of that organization. Now, is Bo-Katan here out of desperation, or does she have a plan, an angle that she can exploit? The thing is, Bo-Katan is not really a crafty individual. She's pretty much a straight shooter, a warrior before statesman and politician. In her old age, though, she's grown wise and more cautious, and right now, she's slowly soaking in all of this information and probably planning on what to do. My belief is in the coming episodes, she will begin to integrate more with the Children of the Watch. And by dropping her own prejudices about this group of Mandalorians, it's possible that she'll even find the redemption she's long desired. The Children of the Watch, the Armor, they all are very aware of the role she's played in their history and their downfall, yet they clearly also accept her now as one of their own. The ball is clearly in Bo-Katan's court. How about the Mythosaur story? What's up with that? Why is Bo-Katan keeping knowledge about the beast from Din? Does she want to protect him from this knowledge? Or does she want to figure out how to deal with the Mythosaur before presenting that information to Din? Or does she want to tame the beast for herself so that she can make a run for the Mandalore position? Well, again, judging by what we've seen from her in more recent times, I don't think that's the case. It is possible that Bo-Katan simply does not trust the Children of the Watch. She trusts Din Djarin, but she knows that also Din Djarin is extremely loyal to the Children of the Watch, and he'll tell them everything she tells him. And so only when Bo-Katan begins really trusting the Children of the Watch and seeing them as potential collaborators for the unification of Mandalore will she reveal this information of the Mythosaur. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. That's my take. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button down below so you don't miss out on the rest of our awesome content. And as usual, my name is Alan, reminding you that my allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy,